Hey guys, in part 2 of Funky Fingerstyle Comping, we're going to build on what we learned in part 1 and add some bass lines and some nice little funky feel with ghost notes. Make sure you come by TastyGuitar.com to get the free tab on this lesson by subscribing on the bottom of the homepage. Check out membership at Tasty Guitar in the description below. Tune up and let's get started. Alright guys, let's go ahead and break down this basic groove here. Now the chord changes underneath are F major 7 to an E7 sharp 9 to an A minor 7. And there's a couple other little passing chords in between. Okay, so what we're doing here is starting up on the F major 7 chord, and that's just your regular bar chord shape there at the 8th fret. Hitting the bass note first and just kind of playing that staccato. So you're just going to hit it with the thumb and then play the middle 3 strings, the D, G, and B strings with your fingers. Thumb on the bass note, grabbing the chord right in the middle of the beat, on the and of the beat. So that's 1 and. And right on 2, we're going to have our right hand slap. Just come down on the strings. We talked about that in part 1. And then we're going to hit the chord again without the bass note. So that's 1 and the chord is coming in on the second 16th note of beat 2, right after the slap. Then we're moving down to our E7 sharp 9 chord. Gonna hit the full chord and let it ring, and then hit the middle 3 then by themselves without that bass note on the last 16th note of beat 3. So that's 3 E and So coming with a slap on beat 4 and then moving down to a 7 flat 9. So basically 7 sharp 9, and you're just going to move to this shape right here, bar that index finger across the 6th fret, and that makes a E7 flat 9. The first measure is this. The second measure of this pattern stays exactly the same rhythmically as the first measure. We're just changing the chords. So we're moving down to the A minor 7 chord here at the 5th fret, hitting the bass note, then the middle 3 strings, slap on beat 2. Right after beat 2 on the second 16th note, we're moving down to an E minor 7, and that's this shape right here with the open E string. Just like that. There's that A minor 7 to E minor 7. And then moving back to the A minor 7. Again, hitting the full chord, then the middle 3 strings on the last 16th of that beat. So. On beat 4, slap, and the chord again. So here's the second measure. So now here's the entire groove really slow. Again. right, so this is almost exactly the same as what we did in the basic rhythm. We're just adding some bass lines here and there. Okay, so starting exactly the same. And then right before the change to the E7 sharp 9 chord, I'm hitting a bass note of B, which is kind of the 5 of E, right? So that kind of leads you to that E chord. Right there. So the last 16th note of beat 2 is where you're putting that B note right there. Hold that E7 sharp 9 out and then hit it again at the end, and then a slap on beat 4. Down to the 7 flat 9 again, and then we are doing a bass line chromatically leading from that B note down to the A note, the root of the next chord. So you're going to have this. So I always look for ways that I can put in little chromatic bass lines. So anywhere you got a distance of a whole step, you can put that chromaticism in there. When you arrive down there at your root of A, you're going to put the A minor 7 up top. On beat 2, coming back with our slap. Down to that E minor 7 chord. But this time not putting the bass note of the E underneath that, just the chord. Then putting another bass line here, the open E string, the G note at the 3rd fret, and then back to our A minor chord. So. Slap on 4 in the chord again. And then ending it on the E note at the 7th fret on the A string. That's the 5th of our chord, so it works nicely in the bass line, and also really works nicely to lead back to our F major 7 chord because it's a half step underneath it. So here's the second measure. Now here's the entire rhythm repeated very slowly. All right, again, here we're just building on that last rhythm, but this time I'm putting in a couple ghost notes and a little fill at the end. Now adding these little ghost notes that is just dead strings, kind of plucked with the thumb there, adds a lot of funky little feel to this thing. Okay, so I'm going to point out where we're putting this. So we're starting exactly the same on that F major 7 chord. Okay, but right after that chord there, we're going to hit the A string dead with the thumb. And then it's coming the slap and the chord again. All right, so this adds a lot of little feel there. Here's what we had at the beginning. But with this dead note in between, kind of adds some nice little feel. So I really suggest you isolate this part until you get it right. Can be tricky at first. Then the rest of the measure is exactly the same as the last time. Then arriving down at that A minor 7 chord again, but this time putting in a ghost note at the end of the first beat. Just hitting that low E string dead. And then the rest of it is almost exactly the same as what we did before. Until we arrive at beat 4, gonna hit the slap, and then I'm playing a little fill here, just going from the D to the E, and then hitting a double stop there, that barred first finger across the 5th fret on the D and G string. So here's that second measure. Now here's the entire thing really slowly.